You're more involved than you think you are. Listen, it's not in the obvious ways. Most of the people that I work with or talk to, they already know, hey, I'm too involved, help me. They know where they're making too many decisions or answering too many questions or carrying too much of what's happening inside their business. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the moments that don't register, the ones that feel normal and efficient, even helpful. Someone asks you a question and you answer it without thinking too much about it because it's your expertise, right? You have a lot of reps doing it. You explain something, maybe clean it up or point them in the right direction, and then you move on. It's done. Nothing about that feels like a problem. It doesn't sound like a problem, right? But if you slow it down, something is happening there that most leaders can't see. You're training people where things get finished. Now, it's not intentional. It's not in some big strategic way. It's just through repetition. A question might come to you. You resolve it. It works. The next time something like that shows up, it's going to come back the exact same way. And after a while, it stops being situational. It becomes structural. And you built it. Now everything that isn't fully clear starts moving in your direction because that's the only place that clarity lives, right? You don't have to tell anyone that. They learn it through behavior. And you reinforce it every time you answer faster than you should. And I get it. It's so much easier. But you can watch this happen if you pay attention to how conversations end. So someone brings something to you and together you work through it. The conversation closes cleanly. It feels complete. There's no loose edge, no reason to keep sitting in it any longer. That completion feels like progress. But it also quietly sets the expectation that things should feel that way every time. So the next conversation starts a little bit earlier, before they've fully worked it through, before they've actually sat with it long enough to know what they think. Because they don't have to think. They know where it gets finished. They know where the answers are. Now, this is where most leadership conversations actually go sideways, and it's really hard to pinpoint. People think the issue is delegation or systems or even just basic communication. So we build frameworks and we create processes. That's what we're good at. We do things like decisions lanes, and all of that helps to a point. But underneath it, the pattern still shows up and repeats. Things move upward to be finished. And if you're still the one finishing them, nothing really changed in that process. It just got a little more organized. You can see this in how people bring things to you. Some of them bring something that's been thought through completely. Maybe it's been worked on and pushed as far as they could possibly take it. And now they're coming to you at the very edge of it. Others bring something that's half-formed. Now, it's not because they're not capable. I say that all the time. It's because they don't have to finish it. They know it's going to get completed somewhere else with you. Most of the time, you just help them because we got to keep moving, right? You take what they bring, you shape it, you tighten it, and you hand it back in a way that works. And sometimes we even think, oh, look, I'm mentoring this person. It feels like leadership. But it also teaches them exactly how to bring things to you next time. There's a version of this that looks even better from the outside. If you listen closely, you're going to hear it. It's in conversations that keep circling without landing unless you step in. You'll see decisions that are almost made, but not quite until you say something. You'll see work that moves forward, but only after it's been checked against your thinking and your principles. It's not lack of capability. That is a learned direction. And you built it. That's not because you wanted to control everything. It wasn't even probably on purpose. It's because you kept making things make sense. That's what we do. So this isn't about whether you're helping or not. It's about what your help is actually creating. And maybe there's a better way. So here's where it's going to get a little bit more uncomfortable. The behavior that's creating the problem is the same behavior that you've probably been praised for. It's things like being decisive and clear, or being able to see what others don't. I didn't say can, I said don't. And then your ability to move things forward. And all of that works. It just keeps everything tied to you. Now, there's a moment inside almost every conversation where this shows up. And you can feel it if you practice and start paying attention. Let's say someone asks you something or brings something to you, and before they even finish, you already know where it's going to go. You can see the answer, and you can see the direction on how to be successful. You also see what should happen next. And right there, you have a choice. You can say it, or you can pause. Most people don't even register the pause as a choice. They just answer. And every time you do that, you're taking something that might not actually belong to you. Now, it doesn't feel like that in the moment. It feels like you're being helpful and doing your job and leading. It feels like you're keeping things moving forward. But you're also doing something else. You're removing the need for someone else to carry it. And the more you do that, the more it's going to come back to you. Now, there's a second layer to this that most people don't even want to look at. Sometimes you answer because it's easier for you. Not just easier for the business. It's faster. It keeps things clean. It avoids the mess of someone else working through something imperfectly. So you step in, you fix it, and move it. And everything feels better again, right? Until it shows up the same way the next time. This is why so many leaders feel stuck in the middle of everything. And it's hard to define. Listen, it's not because their team can't do it. It's because the system has trained itself to route things through the leader. And that system, it's not written down anywhere. It's built through real moments. Small ones, fast ones, the kind you might not even think about. There's another way that this can go. A way that doesn't maybe look like a system. That's painful for me to say. It doesn't look like a new structure. Oh, even more painful. It looks like you're catching that moment before you speak. Not every time, but enough that it starts to change things. You feel the answer come up, and instead of giving it, you let it sit there. You don't rush to fill the space or clean it up. You don't make it easier. Instead, you stay in it with them. And the other person is going to be forced to do something different. They have to keep going. They have to think. They have to actually carry what they brought to you. That doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it slows things down and creates tension in the conversation. Sometimes it feels like you're not helping them, or even that it looks like the conversation is getting worse before it gets better. Sometimes it actually does go worse in the moment. Now, that's the part that most of us avoid, because now you're not just giving up control, you're giving up the ability to make things look right immediately. It's tough. But over time, something's going to shift. People are going to start bringing things to you way further along. They're going to start finishing more of their own thinking. They'll stop handing things off as quickly as they did. It's not because you told them to. It's because you stopped taking it from them. And when that starts to happen, oh man, something else changes that's even harder to describe. Here's what you see. Conversations don't rely on you the same way. Decisions don't stall in the same places. Work doesn't loop back to you as often. Now, this isn't something that you fix all at once. It shows up in a moment, and you either pick it up or you don't. That's it. There's no system to run. There's no framework to install. It's just whether you notice it in time to not step in. So if you're trying to change how you lead, don't start with something big. Start with the next question that someone asks you that you already know how to answer. Feel what happens right before you speak. Notice how quickly you want to resolve it and how easy it would be to just take it from them. And then decide if it actually belongs to you. Most of the time, you'll still answer. You're not going to get this perfect, but every once in a while, you won't answer. And those, my friends, those are the moments that start to change everything. It's not because you said something better. It's because you didn't take something that wasn't yours.